Do you think that this documentary, this mockumentary, this material could be like really helpful for to start on making a right step into the education?
I believe that essentially what Tom is doing on his transition through on his journey, his investigation in the film, he goes from crypto hater, basically, because he got scammed, down a rabbit hole which ends up with him obviously changing into more of a curious, skeptical, definitely in that direction towards like, okay, this is something that has legs. And I think that step hasn't even been achieved yet for most. Like, most young people who are into crypto are into it because they want to get rich, unfortunately, because that's all they're fucking told by crypto influencers like Pump, Moon, blah, blah, blah. And then anybody else, above 30 plus is in there to basically get hold of financial products and run them and own them like businesses in a centralized fashion, which is nothing different from the economy, apart from you can run the company much cheaper and efficient. And so what I try, then there's the next generation, 50 plus, 40 plus even, who are like, it's all just scammy stuff for terrorists and pedophiles.
The black market.
Yeah, and it's like, look around. You look at the economy you've been operating in for the last 50 years. None of that goes on in there, right? So trying to reach these different categories with a fun story, which they can go on a journey, and each of them can have maybe something to take away, which allows them to sort of look at it differently. Like, that will be the ultimate successful outcome, in my opinion. And the technology is important, and it is, it's fairly revolutionary to say we have a trust machine like online nowadays. It's important, but too many people lead with that as like part of the core conversation, and people switch off. If you start talking about high-tech shit, most people don't even understand the language you're using. You're not going to reach anybody. So we put that shit in the background. We laugh at it to a certain extent, arguably I've kind of turned it into the religious, spiritual part of the magic, if you like, because it is kind of magical when you don't understand how it works on when you don't write code yourself. And with it, I mean, with artificial intelligence and other technologies, they literally don't know what the hell's going on. Like, they've just put them out there and then they're like loose, and we don't know, but it will be fine, I'm sure.
All right. So we're trying to introduce this new game of the film, the ARG concept, to the Fakefluencer. So far, we have some people interested. They are interacting and they're also talking in the Reddit. And I found it really, really interesting to go to the comments, how they are asking to each other how to get involved in the game and scan the QR, the code, and what is necessary where they're getting like stuck, how to improve the experience. How you find that this is even just a little experiment, that is not the final version of the game, that this is the first attempt to bring more people into the drama of the documentary. What do you expect about that game? What do you expect about this concept of ARG? Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I'm new to it. I'm new to it myself. I've gone deep into it over the last couple of weeks, and an alternate reality game is basically what I was kind of up to with Bitman 360 when I made making the influencer. But at the time, I didn't know what the hell an ARG was. But by getting real people out there, or maybe they weren't real, they might have been fake as well. But getting them wrapped up in Bitman's stories and ideas and stuff was a type of ARG. And then when I, bringing Tom into that world, and then, so it was like, I wasn't really sure what the hell I was doing there. I just thought that was a really interesting marketing strategy to basically have the narrative of the film narrative kind of play out online on a separate timeline, where just slightly ahead. And then I came to a YouTube channel called Inside a Mind, which is amazing. And he started he has loads of videos on exactly what I was doing. I was like, okay, now it all makes sense. So now I knew what we were doing, really. Like I had a name, because before that it was just like playing silly buggers on the internet, trying to get some engagement in time for the film premiere. Now we had a name. It was like an alternate reality, and they were a thing. So we could start to look at it more like, okay, this is how we can structure it and design a proper interaction.
The incentives, having a wallet, having the scooter coin. Like, we have a coin.
Exactly. The scooter coin was another thing. Is like, we were talking about how are we going to use that. We spoke about rewards, and we were like, okay, and then so these two worlds kind of collided a bit. In a way, and right now we're working to try to figure out how we can take the characters' online stories and the scooter coin and sort of mash them together into an alternate reality game over the next before the premiere of the next 5 months, so that we can build on top of that towards to elevate the sort of the shareability or the engagement around Tom's project, which is the Fakefluencer film or documentary, and Bitman's Buttercup 3, which is the device that he invented for scootering related stuff. Yeah, so now we've figured that out, we can actually look at it and start to think a bit more about how we can utilize both.
I think it's a really good idea. Good idea. People that is into the crypto world, they're gonna find out like, oh, why not? I have a new wallet. I'm going to try to win every single challenge of the film. So why not? It's like,
exactly, and it doesn't cost them anything apart from their time, and they might have fun along the way, and at the end of it they get to watch a movie for free. Like, what's there not to like? And then of course there is a larger vision as well, which I want to touch on, related to the DAO, the Decentralized Autonomous Organization, which is a thing in the blockchain world that people have been trying to make work for some years, with mixed results. Scooter coin is a real mineable coin, but it's not, you can't buy it. It's not on an exchange. So the only way to get it is to mine it with machines or get somebody to send it to you. So we have a position there where we can, as long as it's not on an exchange, which to put it on an exchange would cost a lot of money anyway, so I don't think anybody's going to randomly do that. Although it would be funny if they did. Weirder things have happened in the past.
Do we have a certain amount of stock of scooter coin, or is infinite coins for everybody?
No. There'll only ever be 256 million. But what would be nice is, I would like to figure out how this project's intellectual property can tie to the coin holder. So the idea that you can only earn coins by contributing creatively to the project, whether you are making a song or part of acting in a scene or whatever it is, you should be. There's an idea that we can allocate a certain amount of scooter coins to represent the intellectual property of the project, so that any revenue generated into the future is kind of distributed like royalties or dividends to the people that created the value in the first place. That's an ambition that I have had for a while with other projects, and I still believe it can be done, although it's not all going to be done on chain or decentralized or anything. Pretty much looks like it's going to be done centralized, but I still think that's quite an interesting incentive mechanism. The fact that you can contribute creatively to a project, hold a coin, and then over the, into the future, you get some payouts regularly.
Very nice.